The ancient facilities systems hummed to life for the first time in 3 centuries, emergency power flooding through circuits that had lain dormant since humanity's darkest hour. Deep beneath the Himalayan mountains, in a chamber designed to survive even nuclear winter, Commander Dante Rhodes opened his eyes. The cryopod's seal broke with a soft hiss, releasing warm air into the sterile chamber. Dante's enhanced muscles screamed in protest as he forced himself to sit up, his augmented nervous system firing rapidly to restore full functionality. The last thing he remembered was the order to enter emergency stasis, Earth's last resort when the Nexarian fleet darkened the skies above every major city. "Status report," he croaked, his throat raw from centuries of disuse. The facility's AI responded immediately, its holographic interface flickering to life beside his pod. "Welcome back, Commander Rhodes. Date is April 9, 2525. 300 years, 2 months, and 17 days since Emergency Protocol Delta was initiated." The AI's voice, designated Atlas, remained calm and methodical. "I regret to inform you that global conditions have significantly deteriorated." Dante swung his legs over the edge of the pod, knotting the thin layer of dust that had settled on the facility's equipment despite the environmental seals. "Show me." The chamber's walls transformed into viewing screens, displaying satellite imagery of Earth's surface. Dante's enhanced heart nearly stopped at the sight. Massive crystalline structures dominated what had once been major cities, their alien architecture reflecting the sun's light in unnatural patterns. Nexarian ships patrolled the skies, their distinctive blade-like shapes cutting through clouds. "They didn't just defeat us," Dante whispered. "They colonized us." "Correct," Atlas confirmed. "The Nexarian Empire maintains approximately 200 major settlement hubs across Earth's surface. Human population is estimated at 3 billion, mostly confined to designated labor zones. Resistance exists but is fragmentary and poorly equipped." Dante stood, his 2-meter frame casting a long shadow in the dim light. His military-grade augmentations had preserved his peak physical condition through the long sleep, though his short-cropped black hair had grown past regulation length. "What about the other facilities, the rest of the Sentinel program?" Atlas's hologram flickered momentarily. "Of the 12 original Sentinel facilities, 3 remain operational but dormant. The others were discovered and destroyed during the initial occupation. You are currently the only active Sentinel." Dante moved to the facility's central console, his fingers dancing across holographic controls as muscle memory returned. "And the package, did it survive?" "Project Prometheus remains secure in sublevel 12. All components are functional, though power reserves are at 62% of optimal levels." A grim smile crossed Dante's face. The Nexarians thought they had eliminated all of humanity's advanced technology during their conquest. They had no idea what remained hidden in places like this, waiting for the right moment. "Show me the resistance cells, Atlas, who's still fighting." The displays shifted, highlighting dozens of small points across the globe. Most were concentrated in remote areas: the mountains of South America, the Australian outback, the Siberian wilderness, places where the Nexarians' control was weakest. Largest organized group is designated Phoenix Battalion, operating from the former Chilean Andes. Led by Captain Jun Zhao, former Chinese Special Forces. Approximately 500 active fighters with limited access to pre-invasion technology. Dante's augmented vision zoomed in on the data, analyzing patrol patterns and defensive positions. "Can we make contact without alerting the Nexarians?" "Affirmative. Facility maintains quantum communication capabilities through dormant satellite network. However, Commander," Atlas paused, something it rarely did. "Protocol suggests immediate activation of Prometheus rather than attempting coordination with civilian resistance." "Those civilians have kept fighting for 3 centuries while we slept," Dante replied, already moving toward the facility's armory. "They've earned the right to be part of this. Besides, we'll need their knowledge of current conditions." The armory's doors parted silently, revealing rows of advanced combat suits and weapons that would have seemed like science fiction even in Dante's time. He approached the central display, where a suit of midnight black armor waited in its charging station. The Sentinel Mark VII combat system, humanity's pinnacle of military technology before the fall. As the armor began to unfold and integrate with his augmented body, Dante accessed the facility's long-range sensors. The Nexarian patrol patterns were predictable. They had grown complacent after centuries of unchallenged rule. Their first mistake. Atlas, begin warming up Prometheus, but keep it below detection thresholds, and get me a secure channel to Phoenix Battalion. The armor sealed around him with a series of clicks, heads-up display flooding his vision with tactical data. It's time to remind the Nexarians why they feared us enough to try wiping us out in the first place. Channel opening, Atlas confirmed. But Commander, the Nexarians' fear of humanity wasn't unfounded. The historical records. I know what we were capable of, Dante interrupted, checking his weapons systems. That's exactly what they should be afraid of. Humanity's mistakes made us stronger, our drive to survive, to overcome, to push beyond our limits. That's what they truly fear, and they're right to fear it. The facility's hidden entrance began to open, revealing a tunnel that would lead him to the surface. To a world that had changed beyond recognition, where his people lived as slaves under alien rule. But that was about to change. Message relay ready, Atlas announced. Phoenix Battalion standing by. Dante took his first step toward the tunnel, the armor's systems humming with power that had waited centuries to be unleashed. Send them a simple message. Humanity's darkness has awakened, and we remember everything. The underground bunker of Phoenix Battalion hummed with nervous energy as Captain Jun Zhao studied the quantum transmission for the 100th time. After 3 centuries of guerrilla warfare, of watching generation after generation fight and die against Nexarian rule, a ghost from humanity's past had awakened. But Jun hadn't survived this long by being trusting. It could be a trap, his second-in-command, Major Reyna Torres, pointed out. The veteran fighter's face bore scars from countless battles, her cybernetic eye constantly scanning for threats. The Nexarians have tried infiltrating us before. Before Jun could respond, the bunker's early warning system flashed red. Something was approaching fast. Guards rushed to defensive positions, weapons trained on the main entrance. But what burst through wasn't Nexarian. The midnight black armor seemed to absorb light itself as Commander Rhodes stepped into the command center. Even Jun, who stood well above average height, had to look up at the Sentinel. The stories of the augmented super soldiers didn't do them justice. Captain Zhao, Dante's voice carried authority even through the armor's speakers. Your operational security is impressive. 3 patrol squads tried to track me here. They won't be reporting back. Jun's cybernetic eye confirmed what seemed impossible. The armor bore no damage, not even scorch marks from Nexarian weapons. You killed 3 patrol squads? Alone. The Sentinel program was designed to face worse odds, Dante replied, his helmet retracting to reveal his face. But I'm not here to reminisce. I'm here because humanity needs its defenders again, all of them. The next hour was spent in secure briefing, with Dante laying out what he'd discovered. The Nexarians hadn't just conquered Earth, they'd systematically dismantled human civilization, erasing their history, their achievements, their potential. But they'd missed something crucial. Project Prometheus isn't just a weapon, Dante explained, displaying holographic schematics that made even the Resistance's best tech look primitive. It's everything humanity achieved before the fall, preserved and enhanced. Quantum computing, dark matter manipulation, consciousness transfer technologies the Nexarians thought they'd erased from existence. Major Torres leaned forward, her cybernetic eye whirring as it analyzed the data. Why wait 3 centuries to use it? Why let our people suffer under Nexarian rule for so long? Because Prometheus needed time, Dante's expression darkened. Time to analyze Nexarian technology, to adapt, to evolve. The AI running it has spent 300 years preparing for this moment. But it needs something only the Resistance can provide: current intel on Nexarian defense systems. Jun shared a look with his officers. They'd lost good people gathering that intelligence, mapping patrol routes, studying shield frequencies. And what do we get in return? Dante's answer came in the form of a small device he placed on the briefing table. It projected a detailed map of Earth's surface, highlighting hidden facilities across the globe. You get access to everything the Sentinel program had: weapons, armor, medical technology that can heal injuries in minutes, enough to turn your fighters into an army that can match Nexarian forces. If this technology is so advanced, one of Jun's lieutenants spoke up, why did we lose the war in the first place? The question hung heavy in the air. Dante's response was measured, careful. Because we weren't ready then. We had the technology but not the wisdom to use it. 3 centuries of occupation have taught humanity harsh lessons about unity, about survival, about what we're willing to fight for. He turned to Jun, his augmented eyes gleaming with intensity. The resistance has kept hope alive for 300 years. You've protected our people, preserved our spirit. Now it's time to do more than survive. It's time to take back our world. The next few days transformed the resistance base. Dante's access codes awakened dormant systems hidden beneath the mountain, revealing caches of advanced technology that had waited centuries to be found. Training began immediately, with resistance fighters learning to use weapons that could pierce Nexarian shields, armor that could match their speed. But it was the medical technology that hit hardest. Jun watched as fighters who'd carried injuries for years were healed in moments, as cybernetic implants were upgraded from crude survival tools to sophisticated combat systems. Hope, long suppressed, began to spread through the ranks. "They're ready," Major Torres reported one evening, watching the fighters train with their new equipment. "But the Nexarians will notice soon. We can't hide this level of power signature forever." "We don't need to," Dante replied, studying tactical displays. "Atlas has detected unusual activity in Nexarian command channels. They're pulling ships from orbit, concentrating forces around their major cities. They sense something coming." Jun frowned at the data. "They're preparing for an attack, but not from us, from something else. What aren't you telling us, Commander?" Dante's expression remained neutral, but there was something in his eyes, concern, perhaps even fear. Prometheus didn't just analyze Nexarian technology. It found patterns, correlations in their behavior. They're not just occupying Earth because they conquered us. They're using our planet as a shield. A shield against what? That's what we need to find out. Dante activated a secure channel to his facility. "Atlas, begin Phase 2. It's time to show the Resistance what Prometheus really is." As the transmission ended, distant alarms began to sound. Nexarian patrols were mobilizing, their ships taking up defensive positions around major population centers. Whatever was coming, both humanity's conquerors and its hidden defenders were preparing for war. Jun looked at his people fighters who'd never known a free Earth, who'd grown up with stories of humanity's greatness but lived under alien boots. Now they stood ready, armed with the legacy of their ancestors, prepared to fight not just for survival, but for liberation. "Whatever's out there," he said firmly, "Earth is our home, and it's time we reminded the galaxy of that fact." Dante nodded, his armor humming to life. "Then let's give them something to remember us by. Prometheus awaits." The Nexarian Control Center in Neo-Santiago dominated the skyline, its crystalline spires pulsing with otherworldly energy. High Commander Vexther stood at its peak, multiple eyes scanning tactical displays with growing concern. The humans were moving, not their usual hit-and-run tactics, but something different, something organized. "My lord," a subordinate chittered nervously, "we've lost contact with 3 more outposts. No distress signals, no signs of battle. They're just gone." Vexther's mandibles clicked in irritation. 3 centuries of absolute control, and now this. The High Council would not be pleased, but there was something else, something that made his carapace tingle with ancestral fear. The energy signatures they'd detected. Impossible. That technology had been destroyed. They'd made sure of it. Miles below the city, Commander Dante Rhodes led a strike team through ancient subway tunnels, their advanced armor rendering them invisible to Nexarian sensors. Jun and Major Tors moved like shadows beside him, leading squads equipped with weapons that hadn't seen combat in 300 years. Atlas, Dante subvocalized through his neural link. Status on Prometheus. Final calibrations complete, the AI responded. Power signature masked by the city's own energy grid. They won't detect it until it's too late. Tors gestured to her squad, their upgraded cybernetics allowing silent communication. The Resistance fighters moved with practiced precision, placing quantum charges at key structural points. This wasn't just an attack, it was a message. Remember, Jun's voice came through the tactical net. Civilian areas have been evacuated through the underground network. Focus on military targets only. We're here to liberate, not destroy. Dante checked the mission clock. In synchronized strikes across the globe, other resistance cells were moving into position. The Nexarians had spread themselves thin, trying to maintain control over too much territory. Another mistake. Prometheus signals ready, Atlas reported, initiating primary sequence. Deep beneath the Himalayan facility, something ancient and powerful stirred to life. The quantum AI that had spent centuries analyzing, learning, evolving, began to extend its consciousness through hidden networks. In an instant, every piece of Nexarian technology in Neo-Santiago flickered. Now, Dante commanded. The resistance struck like lightning. Quantum charges detonated simultaneously, but instead of explosions, they released waves of energy that temporarily nullified Nexarian shields. Tor's squad breached the control center's lower levels, while Jun led the assault on power distribution nodes. Dante moved straight up, his armor's enhanced capabilities allowing him to scale the crystalline structure like it was flat ground. Nexarian defenders fired desperately, their energy weapons splashing harmlessly against his adaptive shielding. Impossible, Vexther's voice boomed through the command center's communications. No human technology could. You're right, Dante replied, smashing through a reinforced window. This isn't just human technology, this is human potential, the thing you feared enough to try erasing from existence. The battle that followed was brief, but intense. Nexarian honor guards charged with weapons that could slice through battleship armor, only to find their quantum-edge blades turned aside by Dante's suit. Every movement was a demonstration of what humanity had achieved before the fall, enhanced by centuries of hidden development. Prometheus control established, Atlas reported as Dante engaged Vexther in close combat. Accessing Nexarian networks, Commander, you need to see this. Data flooded Dante's tactical display. Star charts, fleet movements, energy signatures from deep space. The Nexarians weren't just occupying Earth, they were using humanity's home as a fortress world. A shield against something massive approaching from intergalactic space. You don't understand, Vexther gasped as Dante pinned him against a shattered console. We saved your species, what's coming? It would have destroyed everything. By enslaving us, by trying to erase everything we were. Because what you were, the Nexarian commander's eyes flickered with genuine fear, what you could become. It's exactly what they fear, what all advanced species fear. Before Dante could respond, Atlas broke in with urgent news. Commander detecting massive energy spike from deep space. Multiple vessels entering the system. Signatures match no known configuration. Through the broken windows of the command center, the sky itself seemed to darken. Jun's voice crackled through the comm. All teams, operation successful. Control centers secured across all primary targets. But Commander, you need to see this. Dante moved to the edge of the shattered window, his armor's enhanced vision zooming in on the phenomenon. What he saw made even his augmented heart skip a beat. The ships entering the solar system were unlike anything in human or Nexarian records. They moved like living shadows, bending light around them in ways that defied physics, and they were heading straight for Earth. You see now, Vexther laughed bitterly, why we needed your world, why we had to keep your species controlled. The Void Hunters have returned, and thanks to your liberation, Earth's defenses are compromised. Dante's mind raced, processing tactical options. The Resistance had just won their first major victory, proved that humanity could fight back. But now they faced something even the Nexarians feared. Atlas, full connection to Prometheus. Show me everything we have on these void hunters. If they're coming for Earth, they're about to learn that humanity doesn't bow to any threat, not anymore. As Resistance fighters secured their objectives across the city, as celebrations began in liberated sectors, Dante watched the approaching shadows with grim determination. The real war, it seemed, was just beginning. All units, he broadcast across the Resistance network, hold positions, secure Nexarian defense systems, and prepare for something worse than anything we've faced before, because whatever's coming, it's going to find out exactly what humanity is capable of when we're fighting for our home. The war room beneath the Himalayas crackled with tension as holographic displays showed the Void Hunters' advance. 7 massive vessels, each larger than the largest Nexarian warship, had taken up positions around Earth's orbital defense grid. They hadn't attacked yet. They were waiting. Commander Dante Rhodes stood with Jun and Major Tors, studying tactical projections while former High Commander Vexther, now their reluctant ally, explained what they faced. The Void Hunters aren't just another alien species, the Nexarians' mandibles clicked nervously. They're the galaxy's immune system. They eliminate civilizations that threaten the cosmic balance. And humans, you were evolving too fast, pushing boundaries that shouldn't be pushed. Prometheus has finished analyzing their ship configurations, Atlas reported. Their technology operates on principles we've only theorized about. They're not just bending space, they're weaponizing dimensional barriers themselves. Tor's cybernetic eye whirred as she processed the data. That's why you invaded Earth, to prevent us from reaching that level of advancement. To protect you, Vexther insisted. Your species went from primitive tool use to quantum mechanics in less than 10,000 years. Do you have any idea how unprecedented that is? How terrifying? Dante watched as more data streamed in from Prometheus. The AI had spent centuries not just preserving human knowledge, but expanding it, exploring theoretical concepts that even the Nexarians hadn't imagined. Show me what we were working on before the invasion, the projects you tried to erase. The displays shifted, revealing schematics that made even Vexther fall silent. Consciousness transference, artificial dimension creation, the ability to rewrite the fundamental laws of physics within controlled spaces. By the void, Vexther whispered. You were closer than we thought if you'd had even another decade. Commander, Atlas interrupted urgently. The Void Hunters are broadcasting all frequencies. A voice filled the war room, not sound but pure concept translated into something human minds could comprehend. Aberration DETECTED. Natural order must be preserved. Surrender the knowledge or face extinction. Jun stepped forward, his expression hard. They're not just after Earth, they want Prometheus, everything we recovered, everything we built. Everything we could become, Dante added quietly. He turned to Vexther. Your species tried to cage us, to keep us controlled. How did that work out? The Nexarian commander studied the tactical displays, watching as combined human and Nexarian forces took up defensive positions around the planet. You're not suggesting we fight them? Even our most advanced weapons barely register on their shields. No, Dante's augmented eyes gleamed with determination. We're going to show them exactly why they should fear human potential. Atlas, initiate Prometheus Protocol Omega. Deep beneath the mountain, machinery that had waited centuries hummed to life. Prometheus wasn't just an AI or a weapons system. It was the culmination of humanity's drive to transcend its limitations. As its power reached full capacity, reality itself seemed to shiver. All resistance cells, all Nexarian defense forces, this is Commander Rhodes, Dante broadcast globally. What you're about to see. This is why we were never meant to be caged. This is what happens when humanity is pushed too far. The Void Hunters struck first, their weapons tearing holes in space itself. Earth's combined defense fleet, Nexarian ships fighting alongside newly activated human vessels, engaged in a desperate holding action. But they weren't meant to win, just to buy time. Prometheus quantum network at full power, Atlas reported. Dimensional variance detected, Commander. It's working. Around Earth, space began to twist. The knowledge Prometheus had accumulated, the theoretical physics it had explored during its long dormancy, became reality. Artificial dimensions bloomed like flowers of light, trapping void hunter weapons in endless loops of causality. Impossible, Vexther breathed, watching as human technology rewrote the rules of space-time. This level of advancement, it should have taken millennia. You tried to limit us, Tors said, coordinating resistance forces through her neural link. But restriction just makes humans more determined to break through. The Void Hunters' second attack never came. Their weapons, designed to enforce the natural order of space-time, couldn't penetrate the artificial dimensions humanity had created. For the first time in their existence, they faced something that didn't play by the universe's rules. This is why you feared us, Dante transmitted directly to the Void Hunter fleet. Not because of our weapons or our technology, but because we refuse to accept limitations, because we look at the impossible and see a challenge. The response came not in words but in concepts: aberration, violation, potential threat exceeds acceptable parameters. Exactly, Dante smiled grimly. We exceed parameters, we break rules, we evolve, and if you attack our world, you'll learn exactly how dangerous cornered humans can be. Hours passed in tense silence as the Void Hunters analyzed their options. Finally, their ships began to move, pulling back from Earth's orbit in perfect formation. They're retreating, John announced, disbelief clear in his voice. They're actually retreating. Not retreating, Vexther corrected, his own disbelief evident. Recognizing sovereignty, they do this when they encounter species too unpredictable to safely eliminate. Dante watched the tactical displays as the massive ships vanished into the darkness between stars. Atlas maintained Prometheus at full power and opened a channel to all Earth frequencies. He paused, looking at the humans and Nexarians who had fought together against extinction. To all people of Earth, human, Nexarian, and any other species who calls this planet home, today marks not just our liberation, but our emergence onto the galactic stage. Not as conquerors or slaves, but as proof that evolution cannot be caged, that potential cannot be limited. He turned to Vexther. Your people tried to protect us by controlling us. The Void Hunters tried to eliminate us to preserve their order. But humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to accept the impossible as final. What now, Commander? Tors asked, watching as celebrations began in cities across the globe. Dante looked at the star charts, at the vast galaxy that had tried to determine humanity's fate. Now we show the universe what humanity can really achieve, not through conquest or control, but through the same drive that brought us from stone tools to dimensional engineering. They'll be watching us, Vexther warned. All of them, every advanced species in the galaxy will see us as a potential threat. Good, Dante replied. Let them watch. Let them see what happens when you try to cage human potential, because we're not just breaking our chains, we're rewriting the rules of what's possible. 1 year after the Void Hunters' retreat, Earth had transformed. The crystalline spires of Nexarian architecture now stood alongside newly constructed human cities that defied conventional physics, their structures extending into artificially created dimensional spaces. In the atmosphere, ships of both species patrolled together, their combined technologies creating a defense network unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Commander Dante Rhodes stood in the New Earth Council chamber, a vast room where the dimensional boundaries had been pulled back to reveal the star-filled void beyond. Former resistance fighters and Nexarian officials sat together, no longer occupiers and occupied, but partners in an unprecedented alliance. The diplomatic envoys have arrived, Jun announced, now serving as Earth's chief of defense. His combat gear had been replaced by a formal uniform, though the determination in his eyes remained unchanged. 17 species, including some we didn't even know existed, all wanting to discuss humanity's new status. Major Tours, her cybernetic enhancements now integrated with Prometheus's network, displayed the arriving ships on the chamber's holographic system. They're scared, not just of our technology, but of how quickly we adapted it. 3 months of working with Nexarian science, and we're already pushing its boundaries. Fear isn't always negative, Vexther noted. The former High Commander had become Earth's first joint species ambassador, his understanding of both cultures proving invaluable. It can lead to respect, to cooperation. My people learned that the hard way. Dante watched as Atlas coordinated with Prometheus to scan the diplomatic vessels. After the Void Hunter's retreat, the AI had evolved further, becoming something beyond its original parameters, much like humanity itself. Commander, Atlas's voice held new depths of understanding. The Galactic Council representatives are requesting permission to dock. Their terms are interesting. The holographic displays showed the message. The Council, a body that had previously supported humanity's containment, now offered Earth membership. Not as a subordinate world, but as a full partner with access to the combined knowledge of 17 civilizations. They think they can control us with knowledge, Tors observed, her tactical mind analyzing the offer. Keep us focused on learning instead of advancing. Then they still don't understand humans, Jun smiled. Every piece of knowledge is just a stepping stone to the next discovery. Dante stepped forward, his augmented form a symbol of what humanity had achieved and what they could become. Atlas, prepare the council chamber for their arrival and activate the Prometheus displays. Let's show them exactly what they're dealing with. As the diplomatic ships docked, Earth's dimensional engineering created a spectacular arrival zone. Reality shifted and flowed, demonstrating human mastery over space-time itself. The alien diplomats emerged into a room that challenged their understanding of physics. Welcome to Earth, Dante addressed the assembled representatives, their diverse forms ranging from energy beings to silicon-based life. You're here because humanity has surprised you. Good, get used to that feeling. The head of the Galactic Council, a being of pure crystalline thought, spoke first. Your species has achieved in 1 year what most take millennia to discover. The offer of council membership comes with access to technologies, knowledge. With respect, Dante interrupted, Earth isn't interested in being granted access to knowledge. We're interested in partnership, equal exchange. Your species may have existed longer, but we've proven that age doesn't equal advancement. He gestured, and Prometheus activated its latest creation. The chamber transformed, showing the theoretical models humanity had developed. New forms of faster-than-light travel, methods of energy generation that could power entire galaxies, concepts that made even the most advanced council members fall silent. This isn't a threat, Dante continued. It's an invitation. Humanity's drive to explore, to push boundaries, to question everything, it doesn't have to be something you fear. It can be something that benefits all of us. Tors stepped forward, her cybernetics interfacing with the display. In 1 year of true freedom, we've made discoveries that changed our understanding of the universe. Imagine what we could achieve together without fear, without restriction. The council members conferred in their various ways, their shock and uncertainty clear. Finally, the crystalline being spoke again. What guarantees do we have that humanity won't use its capabilities for conquest? Your potential for advancement is unprecedented. Jun answered this time, his voice firm. We've lived under conquest, felt the weight of chains. That's not our path. Humanity's strength isn't in domination, it's in transformation, in taking the impossible and making it real. Look at Earth now, Vexther added, gesturing to the transformed planet below. My people tried to conquer humanity. Instead, we learned from them, evolved with them. This is what humanity offers, not submission, but evolution. The diplomatic discussions continued for days, but the outcome was never really in doubt. The galaxy had tried to contain humanity and failed. Now they faced a choice: continue to fear human potential or embrace it. 1 month later, Earth became the first world to join the Galactic Council as both a member and a mentor. Human innovations, tempered by the wisdom of ancient species, began spreading throughout known space. The feared aberration had become the force that would reshape the galaxy. In the Himalayan facility where it all began, Dante stood with his companions, watching as the first joint species exploration fleet prepared to launch. Humans and aliens working together, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. "Atlas," he asked quietly, "what do you calculate our chances of success are?" The AI, now evolved far beyond its original programming, responded with what almost sounded like amusement. "Commander, if humanity has taught me anything, it's that calculating chances is pointless. You've made a habit of achieving the impossible." "The universe is vast," Torres mused, watching the ships rise. "So many mysteries, so many boundaries to push." "And now," Jun added, "we're free to explore them all." Dante smiled as Prometheus's power hummed through the Earth's new defensive grid, a testament to what humanity could achieve when unchained. No more cages, no more limits, just endless possibility. The ships vanished into dimensional gateways, carrying the combined knowledge and ambition of Earth's united species to the stars. Humanity had not just survived, they had transformed their would-be conquerors into allies, their greatest fears into their greatest strengths. The age of limitation was over. The age of human potential had begun.